My name is Doug Zema. I'm the Director of P.A.R.T.N.E.R and the Housing Authority of Perth Amboy. It's my pleasure to welcome everyone here. It's great to see familiar faces and to meet new faces of people that are interested in the NRTC program. We're here basically to illustrate the difference that it actually can make in a town, in a city, specifically in Perth Amboy. If you're hearing about it for the first time, either way, I'm glad you're here so we could walk you through the process and have you investing locally to create really impactful results. The Neighborhood Revitalization Program, or it's referred to as the NRTC, lets New Jersey businesses decide where their state monies or tax dollars will go. Instead of putting those dollars into the general tax pool of the state, they can direct them into an appropriate approved community program, specifically right here in our town of Perth Amboy. It's not a donation. It's a chance to reinvest in a community that supports your businesses, your employees, and customers. Your company receives a full 100% state tax credit benefit in return. Every dollar you invest stays local and funds to improve housing, support small businesses, and create opportunity. P.A.R.T.N.E.R is a local nonprofit. We are a 501c3. We've been around since 2003. We manage the Gateway Neighborhood Collaborative. We connect housing, workforce development, and community building programs to help families and businesses thrive. In the last year alone, our program reached over 5,000 residents through our home repair program, job training, scholarships, and neighborhood engagement resource events. This work would not be possible without this collaborative, so I want to thank our partners, certainly the City of Perth Amboy, second to none. You guys are just, you can't do enough. Greater Middlesex Habitat for Humanity has been very helpful. Department of Community Affairs, and I met two fine people today for coming out. I thank you wholeheartedly for doing so, and our entire partner team. I want to acknowledge specifically Mayor Cava because he's here, but he's always here. Any event that we have or opportunity that he gets to meet with our residents to spend time to share his ideas or to hear ideas, he's on top of it, and he's bringing a lot of money into town. So we're very impressed. I think the last number is like $800 million in private investment. So Mayor, thank you for all that you do for us in the town. And on that, Mayor, I think that's a great opportunity for you to come on up and tell us a little bit more about what your thoughts are.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's great to see business and community leaders here this morning who believe in our beautiful city and its future. For those joining us here for the first time, welcome to our beautiful city of Perth Amboy. And Doug, you were right. With this NRTC program, it's one of the smartest ways for companies to invest in community growth. It gives you a chance to take part in something meaningful, something that shapes how our city continues to grow. And if you walk and drive around the city of Perth Amboy today, you can already see the transformation taking place. Working closely with the Perth Amboy Redevelopment Agency, we've been turning unused and neglected area into vibrant development that create jobs, attract private investment, and improve quality of life for all residents in our beautiful city. And just to give you a picture of what that looks like, in the last several years, we've been remediating many acres of contaminated land that within the next couple of years is going to total over 300 acres of contaminated land that's being remediated to make sure that we provide open space, residential units, and also bringing in business opportunities. beautiful city. So when we say that Perth Amboy is becoming cleaner, safer, and healthier than ever, we literally mean it. Think about that. Over 300 acres of contaminated land is being remediated. And one of the best examples is right here at the Gateway neighborhood, where Bridge Industrial has partnered with the city to remediate, clean, and redevelop more than 40 acres of land between Route 35, Smith Street, and Riverside Drive. That project represents more than $110 million in private investments. It's bringing a modern logistics center that will create more than 400 permanent jobs and generate about $1 million in annual tax revenue for the city. Just as important, Bridge Industrial is giving around 20 acres of land back to the community for a new public park and a mixed-use site that will reconnect residents to the Smith Street corridor. And by the time that entire project is completed, I believe we're going to be speaking about over $200 million of investments in that area alone. This kind of redevelopment shows what happens when public and private sectors work together. It proves that investments in the city of Perth Amboy is not only possible, but profitable and lasting. Programs like NRTC make the same kind of impact on a neighborhood level. Every dollar invested helps families repair their homes, supports small business growth, and connects residents to job opportunities. So once again, thank you, Doug, Eugenia, Victor, Lisette, and the entire partner team. Thank you for your leadership in leading this work, and thank you to all for being here and supporting our city's growth. Once again, when we invest in the city of Perth Amboy, you're helping build stronger neighborhoods, stronger families, and a stronger future for everyone who calls Perth Amboy home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Cobb, as you continue to move this and our community forward. Next up, I'm going to bring Eugenia Hill, who is our program director, and she's going to walk us through
before you to talk about me growing up in public housing and how the services that we were provided impacted my life, and how the services that we provide now for our community here provide impact as well. When I reflect on last year, what I didn't remember to do was to tell the story. Tell the story of how the things that we do in our community really help families. So let me start by that before we get to the slide. Susan. Susan came to our office because she became homeless, and we provided the emergency housing vouchers to her family. Her father lost his job because he became ill, and as a result, they needed housing. Well, we got them a house in the Gateway neighborhood, and after that, her father passed away. What happened? She was left alone. But what we did for her is help her with resume writing, helped her with finding a job. She found a job in the community at ShopRite. Short after that, she got a promotion because she was a hard worker, dedicated to making sure that she could survive. 2 years later, she no longer needed services from us. She incomed out of housing because that job helped her to gain employment where she no longer needed our services. Those are the impacts, those are the things that NRTC and the community programs that we provide help families. That's why we need your money to continue those programs that we provide. Okay, slides. What have we done in addition to helping families like Susan? We've done workshops and expos connecting over 200 residents to housing and rental and credit resources, helping families to increase their credit score. Because we also know that increasing a family's credit score not only helps with buying a home, but it also makes sure that the family could rent an affordable unit, that they could get utilities without having to pay for a deposit, right? We help with career and economic development through career fairs, averaging about 530 attendees, job readiness and small business programs to help them build financial independence. We've also helped with health and wellness, 7 senior health events, providing screening, flu shots, and wellness. And that helped more than 200 plus residents through our Rutgers AP SEA program. We provide community cleanups. We've done 5 community events, engaging over 175 volunteers. And that helps improve parks and public spaces while promoting civic pride. We've done a lot of cultural and arts programs, 4 major exhibits showcasing over 400 individuals celebrating diversity and local talent, in addition to family and youth engagement and our educational scholarships. I'm so proud of our educational scholarships because every year we're able to give at least 12 scholarships to young adults who really want to help and go to school so that they can come back into the community and work with us. We have one person here, Juana, right? Janae, I'm sorry. Janae, a 3-year recipient of our scholarship program. Next slide. So now, how do we make all of this possible? Obviously through the NRTC tax credit program. This program allows New Jersey businesses to redirect their state tax payments into community projects like ours. The program strengthens housing, education, and economic development. So here's how it works. Businesses choose qualified projects like Gateway Neighborhood. They invest anywhere from $25,000 to $800,000. Last year I was asking for $1 million. DCA decided that they want to reduce that, which is a good thing because they can now support more community projects. Right? So $800,000 is our number. In return for giving us that $800,000, you will receive 100% in tax credits. So every dollar that you give to us, you get a certificate to use that money for money that you would have paid anyway. Okay? It's not a donation, it's a strategic investment. You're taking the money you already owe in taxes and choosing to put it to work right here where your employees and your customers live. So what makes NRTC so powerful? It turns your tax dollars into community impact, like the story that I told about Susan. Why it matters. It strengthens communities and it strengthens businesses. Because when your business invests locally, they help build stronger neighborhoods and stronger economics, and they benefit everyone. The Gateway neighborhood is both a designated redevelopment area and one of New Jersey's most active NRTC zones. It's home to families who are resilient and working hard to build their lives. Your investment helps make that possible by supporting affordable housing and home repairs, financial capabilities and homeownership education, job training, small business growth, and workforce readiness, along with youth programs, health initiatives, and community events. When families succeed, local businesses thrive. When we have more money in our pockets, we spend more. And when local businesses thrive, the whole community grows. So, this is not just charity again, it's about shared growth, shared responsibility, and shared success. Next slide. And that brings us to the part I think many of us really care about, and it's the business case for being part of this work. Because while the community impact is incredible, the truth is that your participation in the NRTC program also brings real value to your organization. I'm going to have Lizette come up and talk about this slide. Thank you.
Thank you, Eugenia, and welcome everyone to the City of Perth Amboy. My name is Lisette Lebron, and I have the honor to serve with Mayor Kaba as his Chief of Staff. I also had the honor of working very closely with Doug Zema. Currently, Victor's shoes fall right now in leading the charge in terms of the Gateway Neighborhood Revitalization Program. So back in 2014, we were fortunate to apply for a grant to once identified in this 42 block area with about 6,000 residents where my mom currently resides. I grew up in the neighborhood, so it was very endearing for me to be part of this conversation about what physical changes, what social changes we can make in the neighborhood. And so through this initial grant, we started doing some planning. And in that planning, we identified some really measurable results. And then we took that plan and we implemented it. We implemented it for about 10 years. And so we saw some real change. We connected with residents. We kind of learned about what's really important for them. This is a faith-based community. If you know anything about Perth Amboy, we're faith-based. And we roll strong when it comes to volunteering. So when you come and participate in one of the events, that's one of the first things that you are going to feel. So one of the things in my role is to really help to identify, like, how is it meaningful for your organizations? We want to know what your vision of your organization and aligns with us. When we talk about social justice, advocacy, I think it's really relevant right now in our political climate. People are really listening and they're calling out. One of these programs, this program could do that. It's really taking your vision, or the vision that DCA hopefully will approve in terms of our plan. And then at that point, you invest into that. And you put your name on it too, right? Eugenia said it best in terms of shared results. So not only is it about brand recognition, but also it's having your employees be part of that. One of the most memorable events that we've had was when we built a park in a day, right? We worked with an organization, Kaboom, thank you. Kaboom. And so they were able to work with, I think it was a bank at the time. And so we actually, I think we've had several Kaboom projects, I think like 3 or 4 underneath our belt. But just to see the engagement of these employees that worked, not in Perth Amboy, right? They came, but they engaged with people that did live here, work here. So it's extremely meaningful to share that success and, to identify, Kaboom's mission is to make sure that every child has a place to play safely. And that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we listen to our residents, because no matter how we look, how old we are, we all want the same thing. We want to live and age in a place that we call home. I think about my mom, you know, we're going through some rehabs with her, and I think about it and it gets me emotional. Because she wants to live here, she wants to stay here, and she wants to age in place. So my sister, who's actually a reading specialist in Perth Amboy for about like 25 years already, you know, we are looking to how we can continue to get involved, to be invested. So like I said, I have the honor of working with the mayor and closely with nonprofits like P.A.R.T.N.E.R and the Jewish Renaissance Foundation and P.A.R.T.N.E.R and our Revitalization Medical Center. I mean, I look at these individuals and they're not like my colleagues, they're my dear friends. And so I ask you to really get to know us, get to know our plan, get to know our people. We're here to stay, and I think that you would be remiss not to join us in this endeavor and identify how your tax dollars that you have to pay to the state anyway be reinvested into this community itself. So I appreciate you giving me this time and sharing this, my little story. So I now will turn it over to Victor, who will share with you specifically about the NRT, the project plans that we have set for, that we had presented to DCA, that I think you'd be most interested in.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, I'm not going to be very winded. Talk a lot. For those that don't know me, my name is Victor Tavares. I'm the program director for Partners Gateway Neighborhood here in Perth Amboy. Little side note about me. My whole career, I was born and raised in the city of Perth Amboy. My whole professional career has been Perth Amboy. I started in 1997 with the Board of Education here. So I'm here, I'm invested, and I'm invested in this neighborhood. And the purpose of me talking to you is to make sure you're invested in the neighborhood. All right? So that being said, today I want to show you a little bit about how your NRTC investments can transform real families, real homes, and real lives right here in Perth Amboy. We're not talking about theory, folks, or thoughts of something that might look good. We're talking about roof repairs, residents trained, and families buying their first homes in Perth Amboy's Gateway neighborhood. I know we all heard a little bit about what we are and what we do, but quickly, what Partners Gateway Neighborhood really does. We try to connect corporate investments with local revitalization, ensuring dollars stay where they have the greatest measurable impact. Through the Gateway Neighborhood Revitalization Plan, we target affordable housing, workforce growth, and quality of life improvements in the district. Little snapshot about the Gateway and why the Gateway matters. The Gateway, as Lisette said, it's about a 48-block neighborhood, consists of about a little over 5,000 residents, and it's 83% Hispanic, 80% of which are renters. So it's a high rental area. This is the heart of Perth Amboy. These are hard-working families, multinational households, small business owners who care about that neighborhood. Your investment keeps the heart beating through housing stability, economic opportunity, and neighborhood pride. Why does it matter? What's so important about this neighborhood? And why is that important? Because it strengthens communities, strengthens business. These investments don't just update homes in the neighborhood. They build safer streets, stronger families, and a better workforce for the community. Your brand becomes part of that solution. All right? We're going to see through being trusted and appreciated by the very communities and employees and customers that come from the neighborhood to work for your industries. This is corporate responsibility and corporate citizenship with vision and lasting return. Next slide, please. I want to talk a little bit about the Gateway Plan, the plan that we presented to the DCA that they're going to approve, right? Don't mean to put you on. I love you, Susan, and thank you, folks.
And I love you back.
All right, so the Gateway Plan, we're really going to focus on things like the Home Harmony program. Those of you have heard about that program, It's a wonderful opportunity where we're partnering with our partners from the greater Middlesex and Morris Habitat. Mark Ardenwalder, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. But with these folks, we are able to offer 7 rehabilitation programs for low-income homes. And in 2006, under the Brush with Kindness model, projects will include roof repairs, siding repairs, accessibility ramps, waterproofing, and flooring replacements. Now I want to step back a little bit and just give it a little personal touch. We are out there every day with these families, okay? And we're seeing how tough it can be, right? When you offer low to moderate income opportunities to repair their homes or fix things with nothing tied, good luck trying to convince them that it's not some kind of fraud or something that's going to happen. Because we're in an age where people have to be, careful with who they trust. So Mr. Padron, he lives on Stockton Street in the neighborhood, right across the street from our school that's in our neighborhood, number 10 school, Dr. Richardson School. Mr. Padron calls, he saw my flyer in ShopRite, and he says, I'm not really sure if this is legitimate, but I'm getting drips on my head in my room, I have a bad heart. And I said, you know what, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Give me your address and we'll just talk. Simple conversation led to, this is what I need done. I did the application. I tried to put them more at ease. And he says, oh, my son is he thinks this is fraud, that, you guys are I said, no problem. I said, he can call me and we can go through it. Speed it up. The son comes through the door. Big old guy, tough guy. Hey, what's going on? You're talking to my father. And I said, yeah, we explain the whole situation. He looks at me, he goes, Victor? And I'm like, hey, what's up, man? He said, you remember me? I said, I really don't, I'm sorry. He goes, listen to this. When I was 14, I was employed by the Saturday morning school. That was a program that's still here. We went to that school, number 5 school. And I was lucky enough to be hired at 14 to be, get ready for this, I know you're gonna laugh, a gymnastics teacher. Right? I was always a burly football type of guy. So he says, you helped me do little backflips and cheese magic. And I was like, of course I did. Yeah, that's me. But it broke the ice. Dad, just sign up. He's not gonna lead you wrong. So these are the kind of things and improvements that we're doing in the community with your dollars to help us. Okay? That's Home Harmony. So through that program, like I said, we want to do another 7 projects for the 26 plan. Path to Ownership, and this is in conjunction with my wonderful colleague, Eugenia. This helps renters become first-time homeowners through bilingual workshops, HUD certified counseling, and down payment assistance programs. And we want to include homeowners workshops, Housing Expo, which have become very successful in the community, for over 300 residents. And now we would like to also try a direct aid to 8 families to help with closing costs in the gateway. Outcomes. Obviously we want 100+ residents, 8 new homeowners, 300 residents empowered through some of these things, some of these projects. Next project would be the Neighborhood for Success. This is going to equip residents for better jobs, new business ventures, and it's going to help them with the areas of if they need ESL training, English as a second language, GED prep for those that need to secure their GED, job fairs, which have become very successful in the city, and micro grants and scholarships to help both businesses and residents. We like to highlight to have 2 job fairs, at least 50 ESL learners, 30 GED participants, and over 10,000 in business micro grants. So those are some of the things we like to offer for this year. And in support services, we want to strengthen the community well-being through monthly community dinners where we can express any thoughts or any things to help the community. Arts events, continue that product art events. Senior tech workshops to help our seniors understand the technology. Youth programs, health screenings. So through these initiatives, as you know, we can't do this alone. Partner is still relatively small. So through these efforts, we always use our partnerships through our community partners. And that's something that's really highlighted what we do in Partner. We're not here just to say Partner's doing everything. It's a community effort, all organizations on deck, to include YMCA, Central Jersey Medical Center, and various city departments. Thank you, Mayor. So the investor impact is going to foster a connected community. It's going to also improve a healthy community and a resilient neighborhood through your tax dollar investments. Next slide, please. Now I just want to touch lightly on the corporate impact and your recognition. So we're going to offer brand naming recognition, possible press coverage, signage, or citywide visibility. Naming opportunities, possibly put your company names on projects that matter. Community visibility, recognition against through partners' media channels, through our social media, through our email programs. Employee engagement, we want to volunteer and co-brand or opportunities on site. If we know that we're doing a cleanup or do a big housing project or a housing expo, and your company would like to be there, and maybe you have some volunteer hours that you'd like to incorporate, Victor, give me a call. Victor, I got some guys, let's put together a cleanup, let's put together anything that can make your business stand out. Measurable results. We will continue to compile data reports showing your impact on homes repaired, jobs created, and families that have been supported. So those are the plans that we have for 2026. And hopefully through your investment dollars, we can see that come to fruition. Thank you very much. And I'd like to invite my colleagues.
From the Neighborhood Programs Unit at DCA. And this, of course, is Vladimir,
one and only,
my colleague who's going to manage the business entity applications this year. It's something I used to do, and I always would say it was the most fun I had all year. But it was also, it was difficult because you're making, you have to put the money where the companies, the businesses are the ones who decide where their dollars. It's also, I don't know, a little nerve-wracking, I'm going to say, right? Because these organizations, P.A.R.T.N.E.R does all this work to put this plan together, right? And that was no small feat, was it? Right. And that's no guarantee of money. Once you do an annual project application, that's all that plan gets you, is the opportunity to apply for that project application. So once you're in that, what we call the qualified projects pool, that's when you could potentially get money if the application with your project audit comes in the order, right, to get it before the $15 million is used up. So this is not a guarantee of money. So we just cross our fingers and hope for the best. So let me just say that Vlad and I both will be here for any business throughout the process. If you have a question, Victor has me on speed dial. He was not kidding about that. He'll call me anytime. And if you have a question, Victor can get me right away and we will answer a question for you. So in addition to the neighborhoods we have in Perth Amboy, we actually have 42 NRTC neighborhoods and counting. So we really do hope we do get some more money because it's only getting, spread further and further. So we have a map, is that what's up there?
Yes.
Of where our 34 nonprofit community-based organizations are at work, bringing brightness to what was blightness in 42 NRTC neighborhoods in 24 municipalities. So eligibility for NRTC for neighborhoods is based on multiple distress factors using ACS, American Community Survey, and HUD data that includes income level of residents, but not just that. All the data points are housed in what we call the Neighborhood Trends database. It's on our web page. And previously, we were focused much more on just the income level of residents, but it's really a lot of other factors that go into what makes a neighborhood distressed. So the top 100 distressed neighborhoods are what are on, well, actually census tracts are what are on the Neighborhood Trends database. So the safest way to check for NRT eligibility is just go to our website and look at the database. Vlad, you want to talk about business entity eligibility?
Yes. Okay. So, so all the businesses in the state of New Jersey, as well as anybody who does business in the state of New Jersey, is eligible to apply. Majority of the corporations usually utilize the corporate tax. For example, insurance companies utilize the insurance tax, and the one on the bottom is not generally utilized, but if let's say you guys are, if any of you guys are set up as a corporation or partner, we can help you through that process. So, and we do have plenty of businesses actually, as far as Illinois, Chicago, that actually do invest directly in NRTC. Okay, next slide, please.
So, like most successful endeavors, like I mentioned, the NRTC partnership between community-based nonprofit organizations and business entities begins with a plan. And in this case, it's a 10-year extensive revitalization plan that's been created with input from residents, from municipal leaders, from local businesses, and other stakeholders. And as I mentioned, it doesn't guarantee funding, right? It just gives you the opportunity to participate. As we mentioned, for this year, the maximum request for a project application is $800,000 rather than the $1 million, but a business can still contribute $1 million, just have to spread it around a little bit. And this is just a measure we've taken to address that, the limited funds we have, related to the number of applications we get. So the business entity application process is separate, competitive application process. And once we get all of those processed and we designate the funds, then we simply issue tax credits to the business. People usually don't think it's that simple, but it really, really is that simple. We were doing a presentation, I believe it was in Atlantic City, and we had, was it Ocean Casino?
It was Ocean Casino.
Ocean Casino, the CFO of Ocean Casino said, he asked the question, are you kidding? You don't need any more from me, when he had first applied. And that's what businesses usually, that's where that thing is, the credibility. They don't really believe it can be that simple. And I understand in other states, there are NRTC programs, but the business actually has grant management responsibilities going forward, with the grant. Not so in New Jersey. Give us your money, we give you a tax credit, and all you have to do now is show up at the ribbon cutting ceremony that Victor and Eugenie are going to invite you to. That's all you have to do.
Okay. All right, next slide, please. We were just talking about it really is, there's absolutely nothing simple in government, right? There's not a simple, even applying for a credit card. You apply for a credit card asking you a bazillion questions, about this, and that. And, but this is why we literally had to bring a CFO from Ocean Casino to say, like, this is really that simple. So, like, can I get can anybody raise their hands if they're a new investor, potential investor in NRTC today? Like, who's...
Okay, so you haven't you haven't been involved in NRTC before. And
like, if you haven't been involved in NRTC before, and if you haven't received, like, our emails, if you'd be so kind, see me after the presentation or after the closing remarks, and I would love to take your information down so I can put you on our mass email blast, so you'll be receiving all the information. So literally this is in preparation, and if, like I said, Victor, you have our slides. If you can email the slides to everybody who came today. So in preparation for, actually go back home.
Sorry, it's not.
That's okay. So literally this is the information you will need, along with what you're gonna do is, as you know, we do keep on mentioning that it used to be $1 million. Unfortunately, this year it's been dropped to 800,000, and the reason that decision was made way above a level. Everybody knows everything's been cut across the board. So, but we do have, this is an ability to spread the funds around, and you know, as we keep on saying, as a business, you still are eligible to apply and to receive a whole $1 million. And we ask that you do a minimum of 3 applications, a minimum of 3 projects, and you will select them in an order which you want to fund first, because we literally, to try to make it fair to everybody, you know, we take that list as signed law. I don't know how else to put it, but you know, we basically we timestamp every application as it comes in to make sure that it's fair. To give you an example, last year we launched at 9 a.m. It was December 2nd that we launched our application, and then by the end of the day, by like 4:45, we already had $12,800,000 pledged in funding. So it is a very competitive, as everybody wants to give us money. Before they give you money, they gotta give me money first. Okay, so we do take. So let's say if you contributed $1 million, and let's say you selected 4 different projects across the state, and we will make that information available because we launched the qualified project pool at the same exact time as we launched the application. So you'll be able to see who's in the pool, who's not in the pool. So definitely take a good look at that. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, if you decided to, let's say 4 projects, $250,000 per project. Of course, P.A.R.T.N.E.R wants you to list them 3 times. Don't list them 3 times. They can only be listed once. But you definitely want your $1 million credit. So once you say, okay, this is who I want to give the money to, once that's approved, once I have your money, then I literally will be the one who actually creates the tax certificate, and I will be sending it out to you guys via, I think FedEx is what we're doing now, so you can, you know, use it for the taxes. So it's a little bit confusing with the whole 800,000 versus $1 million. It's just that we're trying to do the right thing and spread the money, because money's needed everywhere, all around the state. And as much as we, you know, we love and have favorites, we love everybody.
You know, let me just say one thing about that. The reason why, even though I know you just want to give all your money to P.A.R.T.N.E.R, right? Give all your money to P.A.R.T.N.E.R. But the reason we asked you to list more than just the 1 and 3 and possibly more than that if you can, is because everybody's going to want to support P.A.R.T.N.E.R's projects, right? So if another application comes in, they might get filled up, and then we'd want to go to maybe JRF needs some money, or somebody else might need some money. So we'd like to be able to just go right down the application. And if we don't have other options, if your first choice is filled up, then we'd have to call you and go back and get another application and all of that business. So if we have, it gives us flexibility in processing. That's why we ask you to do more. So again, make sure, Victor will make sure that we get your email addresses. If you don't want to give them the vlog, you can just email them to us. It'd be easier that way.
Okay, that works.
And we'll put you on our mailing list to make sure that you know when we launch that QPP and we launch the business entity application, which is going to be just a real simple Microsoft forms this year, like filling out a silly little survey or something like you would do. It'll be on that with a paper application alternative if we need it.
Yes,
And,
we had a little hiccup last year, but we rectified the issue. So one of the plugs that I have to say, majority, due to cybersecurity, something as simple as Microsoft Forms can actually block you from participating. So please make sure if you don't have, if you haven't used Microsoft Forms, just please download it and just try it out to make sure that your organization is not actually blocking it from being utilized for the application.
Oh, sure. Victor brought up a very good point. And I'll say this, well, actually, I'm going to say two things. The first thing I'm going to say is that I think we neglected to mention that 5% of every contribution that we receive from a business actually goes to program administration, but our form makes it really easy for you to figure out how to designate the rest of the money. It won't be hard when you get to the application, but 5% is reserved for program administration. And people often ask the question, well, what's the risk to a business? There is one potential risk only, and that is underestimating your tax liability. The only risk you could possibly take, because if you underestimated and gave us more than you owed, the tax credit certificate would just be for the amount, that you gave us. So there would be there's no carryover for another tax year. That's it. But I think, you all have accountants who know what they're doing and will estimate your taxes accurately. And I'd say, I think with us, we're done. Thank you so much for inviting us to come and talk about our favorite thing. And thank you. We look forward to participation in NRTC.